The game might be over, but we're just getting started. Welcome to the Todd Fox postgame podcast, your go-to spot for real, unfiltered Angels talk, win or lose, on the Halos in the Infield Network. You never know what's going to happen. Walk-offs, meltdowns, heroics, or straight-up typical Angels disasters. We're breaking it all down. Who stepped up and took home the Golden Stamos, the most prestigious award in baseball? And who embarrassed themselves so badly they're stuck with the dreaded Nacho Night Award? Drop your comments, call in, and sound off. We're reading them all. So like, share, subscribe, and buckle up, because this show pulls no punches. And yes, Anthony Rendon is still a fragile little bitch. Take it away, Todd.
I'm a fox. My name's Todd.
Hey, welcome into another episode of the Halos in the Infield postgame show. By the fans, for the fans, for the fans, by the fans. That's how we roll on Heedy. The Angels, congratulations for the 8th time in their history, have now gone 7-3 to start a season. And again, we're not saying playoffs. We're not doing any of that mumbo-jumbo bullshit. What we're doing is taking it one goddamn game at a time and enjoying each pitch, no matter how much of a butt clincher that was for you or for me. But god damn it, was that a butt clincher here tonight as the Angels win 4-3 in Tampa Bay, an unfamiliar spot in Steinbrenner Field. But the Angels get it done with some damn good moxie and some cojones, some huge cojones from Kelly Jansen tonight. Man, he reminded me of Lee Arthur Smith in his prime. And now I say, you know what? He doesn't remind me of nobody. Kelly Jansen is his own guy. Now other guys want to aspire to be him, such as Ben Joyce, which we'll get into because that was probably one of the most miserable performances we've seen from number 44 on the Angels. It was a tough one for him tonight. But this, to me, ladies and gentlemen, was sort of the epitome of postseason intensity. So if you're a young Angels fan like Mateo, if you're a young Angels fan like a lot of these kids like Hunter, who hasn't seen any postseason baseball in their lives or can remember any postseason baseball in their lives, these are the type of games that, man, you can feel it. You know, you can feel it because this did not feel like a normal baseball game. You could tell Tampa Bay really wanted this one, and the Angels really wanted this one too, but in all aspects, when you think about what happened, take the bullshit stat cast out of it, take everything that the nerds upstairs like to shout down to the real guys, the jocks, the players, the guys who actually perform on the field, take all that bullshit that they come up with in their little laboratory and put the real game, how it was played on the field, and the gut moves that were made in this game. You can say, once again, Ron Washington was not playing his full deck of cards. Now, number one, before we get into the score and I do the recap and everything else like that, I will say, you know, Travis d'Arnaud does deserve to play. I get it. But at some point when you're, again, just like Kyron Paris, you got to ride the hot hand. He put Paris in there, and he takes O'Hoppe out. A guy who has homered 4 straight games, a guy who has hit multiple hits in 4 straight games, you choose to sit him. And then what does he do late in the game? Oh, he comes through with a hit. Could have maybe used that offense earlier in the game when our outfield, and I will say our outfield was trash at the plate tonight. Capital T with trash tonight. Don't even get me started on Big Ears Ward. I've been trying to be nice to this guy. But again, I don't like him in the leadoff spot. A lot of other people do. I don't like him at the leadoff spot. I don't know why we keep pushing him at leadoff. And he sucks. He needs to be where Paris is at. And I have a feeling that Paris should be where Ward is at. But I digress. He was terrible. Joe Adele was terrible. Mike Trout was terrible. And then don't even talk to me about Trout in right field. Here's the thing. We have a rookie Hall of Famer in right field. How is he a rookie Hall of Famer? Well, this is obviously his first year, his first experience playing right field. This is going to happen. Just like the last couple of days we talked about well, we have outfielders or we have pitchers that are going to, face their good. They're going to be good and then they're going to be bad at times. But you have to take the good with the bad because they're going to struggle before they get better, right? That's what I'm talking about with Mike Trout. Mike Trout's going to make some errors out there in right field, guys. Don't expect this guy to win a Gold Glove. That was atrocious fielding by him, overrunning the ball by a good 5 to 10 yards. He did not take into mind that the wind was going to blow that sucker back. You always if you're coming up to a ball, you better be damn near under it without any wind. And even then, when it's windy, dude, I would not let the ball hover over my head or appear to be over my head where I have to reach my glove hand back. What I would usually do is creep up on it. If it's starting to come down, judge the trajectory of the ball as it's coming down and sort of be 3 to 5 feet behind it. That way I can coast into the catch on a fly ball or a pop-up. I would not do what he did. And I'm not saying I'm any better than Trout. I'm just saying that's elementary outfielding. That was terrible, terrible route running right there by Mike Trout. He thought he was closer to the wall. He thought he was under the ball. He was clearly ahead of the ball. And that could have and should have lost them the baseball game tonight. Let's get up to what happened tonight, because this game, by all actuality, I feel bad for Kyle Hendricks. Because Kyle Hendricks, let's just talk about it. He should be 2-0 at this point. A decent start over there in St. Louis. He threw kind of too many pitches here today, but he kept you in the game. He gave you enough time to score some runs, and he kind of did, but he left the game in the lead after 5. Should have been okay, right? So let's get into what the lineup did tonight, or at least the scoring plays first. It was Kyron Paris hitting the 2-run homer in the second inning. Once again, in Fuego, he makes it 2-0. Camarillo then scored a home run to make it 2-1. Morel doubled to center. Randa scored on the air to make it 2-2. Then Mincer tripled it to center. Morel scored, and it was 3-2. And you're thinking, damn, here we go with the Buttercup. I was queuing up the Buttercup. I thought for sure this was going to be a tough loss and just turn the page and say, F it, right? But d'Arnaud and the Angels fought for a run, got a runner on. They had second and third. The infield, for whatever reason, was back on d'Arnaud, and he had a ground ball that scored Renifo, and it was 3-3. Then Renifo came up in the 9th inning after they pinch hit for what is it called? I think it was Tim Anderson. Ohapi got a single. He went to second base on a misplay, and then he was able to be pinch ran for. And then Newman came around to score on the Renifo single, and it was 4-3. But that's in between some crazy shit that happened. So late in the game, you have, again, Hendricks pitched you 5 innings, 83 pitches, 51 for strikes. He now has a 1.64 ERA. Now, Zephyr John, it's highly debated with the Angels brass that this guy can go 2 innings, right? So you want to get the best out of him with 1. He's been super solid so far. Only 19 pitches thrown, 2 strikeouts, got the shutdown 6th inning. You still preserve the lead at 2-0. Where they made the mistake is this. I don't understand. Again, StatCast, nerds, stupidity, never played the game before. Let's tell it again. It's sort of like when you let your cousin, your nephew, or someone that's not familiar with MLB The Show run your season on your PS5 or your Xbox. Let them play a couple games and watch how they make you lose, because they're not familiar with how the players play in the game, or they're not familiar with the game. That's what it feels like to me with all this analytics bullshit. Because, again, if you're thinking with your gut, if you're Ron Washington and you are allowed to think with your gut, because I still don't think it's completely his decision. But I will say this was mismanagement, because when have you seen Joyce at all? Maybe when he was a rookie, or last year or the year before, whatever, when he first got his feet wet, did they bring him in that early in a ball game? Usually it's late in the ball game because he's a flamethrower, right? Why did they bring him in the 7th inning when he's clearly, and I mean clearly, been utilized as an 8th inning guy and should be your 8th inning guy? Instead, where Brock Burke should have probably been, or Zephyr John for a 2nd inning, you throw him in there in the 6th inning. Now, I don't know what happened. Gooby's out there saying, well, hey, he didn't have anything on the fastball. Was he tipping his pitches? He didn't look right. He wasn't throwing 102. That's all correct. And he was getting lit up. I mean, those fastballs, if you look at them closely on the replay, they were on a rope, meaning they had no movement. Even this so-called splinker had no movement whatsoever. He was getting lit up. He looked like a double-A pitcher. What everyone thinks Jansen is, and everyone's worried that what Jansen can be, well, Ben Joyce pitched like Jansen. He got lit the fuck up. And you know what? They got lucky that they left that inning without giving up more than just the 3 runs. I thought McDaniels did a great job coming out of the bullpen. Yes, he walked a couple guys, but when he damn near needed that pitch on the slider, he got it, and he got out of the jam. So then Berg comes in, and the first, I think 2 or 3 pitches he throws, the outfielder hits one to right field, and then that's when Trout misplays the ball horrifically, then jogs to the ball on top of it. The guy goes to third. It's a leadoff triple. And so you're thinking, crap, here we go. We're probably going to lose the game because they're going to set this up for the closer, right? It's going to be another buttercup. It's going to be a blown thing. Trout's the goat in a bad way. And you're just thinking about all these things like, damn, we're giving away a game we should have won. And, now that it's tied. And so then you're thinking this is over, yet Burke works a strikeout, damn near gets a second strikeout, and before beating the dude in the head, or actually he gets a second out, then he beans a dude in the head on an 0-2 count. And you're thinking, crap, man, this kid, it's going to screw with him because he now has 2 outs. He was 1 pitch away from getting out of a huge jam. But I love that Barry Enright came out and talked to him. He let him stew out there for a while till they checked on the guy that was hit. They let him stew on it. They went out there. They took their time. And once they finally got out to talking to him, they were like, okay, let's, give it how are you feeling? Give it your best shot. What do you think? And he told him all the right things. Enright calmed him down. And then the first pitch, which credit the Tampa Bay hitter, he went after it because he knew he was going to throw a fastball. Because you didn't want to throw a slider. You didn't want to throw nothing in the dirt so that it gets away from d'Arnaud. Because, dude, tonight d'Arnaud was having issues behind the plate. They were crossed up. Even in the 9th inning with Kelly Jansen on the mound, he got crossed up on one of those fastballs. You saw d'Arnaud set up on the outside corner of the plate, and that pitch was down the middle inside. And he was lucky that the hitter didn't pick up on it. It was called a strike, but it almost got by d'Arnaud as well. So after Burke throws that pitch, the fielder goes for it, hits it to the outfield. Ward makes the catch on the track. Whoo! Butt clinched right there. You head to the 9th inning. The Angels get that RBI single by Renifo, take the lead, and you're like, okay, we feel good. We got Jansen in there, right? And then Jansen proceeds to give up a hit that just gets off the glove of Renifo. You're like, damn it, dude. Leadoff guy, it's never good in the 9th inning. He gets to second base right away. Then gets to third base, and you're thinking, crap, here we go. And Jansen just works his magic, dude. I mean, and then the cojones on Kelly Jansen to be like calling the Enright in and everybody to make sure we're all on the same page in the infield, telling the infield coaches, get your guys in the right spot. He's not even worried about talking to d'Arnaud. He doesn't give a shit what d'Arnaud wants to call. He's calling the pitches. I mean, that is a true vet. That is a true Hall of Famer to be. That was awesome. That was awesome. That was playoff baseball. Again, if you guys and gals have never seen playoff baseball before, that's a little taste in April. And I'm not saying that this team's anywhere close to a playoff team. I'm just saying if the Angels were in the postseason playing the Rays, that's how it felt. The only thing you didn't hear is that TBS their jingle, right? I mean, you heard Gooby and Wayne just, goobying it up all over the field, but it was still fun. What a fun night. The Angels are now 7-3, 5-2 on the road. When is the last time they've been able to say that they're 3 games over 500 on the road? So what a game. Let's go over the lineups real quick before we get into all the awards and stuff. For the Angels tonight, again, like I told you, you could lump Tim Anderson in there with the guys here tonight, but I'll take it back as far as the outfield being useless. I'll say that Trout had 2 walks tonight, so I'll give him that. Anytime you can get on base, I take it as a win. You're contributing. But I will say this, between Joe Adell, Tim Anderson, and also Taylor Ward, those guys suck tonight. We're talking a combined 0 for 12. And most of the times when those guys came up, there was runners in scoring position. The Angels went 1 for 8. Renifo's big hit being the only one. The Angels left 8 men on base tonight. But you had, again, Taylor Ward going 0 for 5 at leadoff, batting 190. Yeah, that makes sense. Renifo got a hit and a walk. You had Trout with 2 walks. Soler at least got a hit. He got that double, I believe, but he struck out twice. The Angels only struck out 7 times tonight, by the way. And I was worried because the pitcher had struck out, 10 in his last outing. Darno went 1 for 4. Shonowell went 1 for 2 and 2 walks. That was good. Kyron Paris continues to outperform, 1 for 3 and a walk and a 2-run blast. He's only batting .429. Joe Adell, like I said, went 0 for. Tim Anderson went 0 for, and Newman got a run in off the bench. So all in all, dude, I mean, look, I like it. I like it. Good win tonight. Again, Tampa Bay is not a freaking easy team for the Angels. Angels are 6-12 their last 18 there in Tampa. So getting a win here tonight is an improvement. Different stadium, I don't know. Maybe that's the reason, but either way, we'll take it. Angels get the big dub tonight in the victory. So let's go over the awards, shall we? As the Angels win, and we're going to play Stukas first because, damn it, baby, Angels win! Angels win! Now, again, let's go over the John Stamos Award for the best player on the field. John Stamos Golden Stamos Award. I think it has my voices. I was shouting so loud. I'm having so much a good time. What a great time. I can't even talk right now because this was intense. This was great. I have to give it to Kelly Jansen. I mean, look, he's not going to the Hall of Fame as a Boston Red Sox. He sure as hell is not. He can have 80 saves this year and is not going to the Hall of Fame as an Angel. But he's going to go to the Hall of Fame as a Dodger. But this should be on one of his highlights. It really should be when he's inducted. It should be like one of the last highlights or whatever on how just the cojones are huge with this guy. And he's been there before. He's done it before. It doesn't affect him. And again, how he just took over. He wasn't going to let Ron mess it up. He wasn't going to let Enright mess it up. He wasn't going to let any bench coach or position player fuck it up. He was going to end that game his way. And I mean, I've never seen that before. I hope I see it again with Jansen. I loved it. I loved it. And if somebody's got to be taking notes tonight, if he's okay and doesn't have no arm issues and he just got rocked tonight or he was tipping his pitches, Ben Joyce should be picking his ear tonight and asking him everything that he went through in that inning, what he observed of Joyce making mistakes in the 7th inning. He needs to be picking his brain, dude. He literally needs to be writing down notes and getting himself, I'd be asking Jansen to work out what is his routine, everything. If anybody's going to copy anybody, Joyce has got to get some of that moxie from Kelly Jansen. Hell of a performance for Kelly Jansen in that 9th inning. Balls of freaking steel. Now the Nacho Night for worst player on the field.
Nacho Night, oh yeah, Nacho Night. Pile it up, load it high. Extra shame, hold the pride. Grab a fork, take a dive. Dignity's gone, but the cheese survived. Moldy cheese, stale chips, what a sight. All your dreams gone tonight. Had a bad night, lost the fight. No more crunch, just take a bite. It's the nacho
Nacho Night Award goes to, man, there's a lot to pick from real quick, and that is, I mean, look, the Rays went 2 for 13 with runners in scoring position. They left 9 guys on base. They struck out 11 times. You could give it to a pitcher. You could say Fairbanks blew it, but I'm going to say this. I'm going to give it to Brandon Lowe, the number 2 hitter. He came up several times, Brandon Lowe, with guys in scoring position, and came up short all 3 times. He struck out 3 times. He got the hat trick tonight, including in the 9th inning against Jansen. Jansen killed him with that high heat. So it is what it is, man. He gets the Nacho Night Award. I was going to give it, if the Angels would have lost, it was going to go to Ron Washington. I wasn't going to blame Joyce as much. It looked like either something was wrong or he was tipping his pitches. He was terrible. But I think Ron's decision to take, I mean, again, these guys are creatures of habit. You don't mess with. That'd be like if Ron Washington said, you know what, man, I'm gonna take Kelly Jansen and put him in the 5th inning. You don't do that. You don't do that. You specifically got Jansen to close after Ben Joyce. So Ben Joyce is supposed to set him up. Now I know damn well they weren't going to go Joyce for 2 innings. So have Brock, then Joyce, then your boy Jansen. But they didn't even go to a guy like Detmers. Again, where the hell is Detmers? He's like Waldo at this point. Where the hell is Waldo? Frustrating, but freaking happy at the same time. It's weird feeling. It just is. Now we're going to do things on here a different way from any other show because no other post-game show, no other podcast reads every comment. No other show is this interactive, so we entice you to come on. And I promise at some point, I almost got the phones ready today, but I don't have them right. So I'm sorry. I want everything to be perfect. It's not quite there. There's static and this and that. I'm trying to get the right system for the phones. But for right now, just bear with me. 1 or 2 more shows, we should have that rolling. But for right now, we go through every comment. Perez over there, and Perez on X says, Angels, baby. He said, I yelled at the end. Oh, the bullpen just loves to make it interesting. Laugh out loud. Mateo then says, guess what, baby? I'm back. I need a botanical spritz after this game.
Spritz o'clock, Angels play. Win or lose, we toast today. Sip and cheer, no matter score. Spritz o'clock, let's pour some more. Spritz o'clock, let's pour some more.
Patrick says,
for you to check out what I want. I want
balls and
Jansen.
time for you to check out what I want. I want
balls and John Stamos.
time.
I had that on repeat. My bad. All the kinks. Sapphire says, let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. Oh my God. I was literally going crazy walking around my house trying to get myself distracted and hoping we didn't blow this game, but the Angels won. Hell yeah. Something like that. Mario said, you're too quick, Mateo. That's what she said. Hey-oh. Also, crazy game. Salvador Perez says, 7. Patrick says, 7-1 for tickets. 7-1 for tickets. Don't pay Artie bullshit prices. Go to 714 tickets. Get 10% off when you punch in HITI. Emilio says, Kenley has been nails. He sure has. James Malou checking in with, I love me some Kenley Jansen. Andrew Johnson says, let's go. Alex says, Kenley letting his fucking nuts hang. Fuck yeah. Mario says, I don't think I've ever seen a pitcher, let alone a closer, call his own defense. That was awesome. It was. And again, this is fun. Look, we're 10 games in, but this is 10 hell of a good games to watch, except for the opening day. Other than that, it's been fun. It's been fun watching Angels baseball so far. Please don't kill it for us, Artie. Also, Jesus says, don't know about you guys, but this game was like a playoff game. That's what I've been saying all night, baby. Jansen is badass, Joshua says. Also, Patrick says, Ben Joyce and Artie Moreno get the nachos. Stukas, Mario says. Also, James and Lou says, we won a close game against the Rays. Q Lombardi. Yeah, Lombardi's like, what the hell's going on here? That guy's been dead for like 80 years and he's still pissed off. Grillmaster says, I try not to scream when I'm at work, but this was insane. Kenley Jansen and Brock Burke deserve all the steak dinners they want for a week. Yeah, dude, he had some dog in him too. Although it was crazy with Burke in there, I mean, that's some dog mentality too. I love it. Mateo says the Rays had Jansen on the ropes. Saucy said this team has some fight in them. Andrew Johnson says get rid of number 6 and we started to play well. Maybe they took a bat to his hip. Maybe that's what it was. Grillmaster says Nacho Night for Washington or Christopher Morel. Jesus says just kidding, like a general taking charge in the infield, baby. Eddie Perez says I shit my pants about 3 times. They have adult diapers for that. Also, Grillmaster says, fun fact, it was interference on Kyron Paris's home run, the guy who caught the ball, that dreaded YouTuber nobody likes, Zach Hampel. That guy would push over his own grandma to get to a baseball. That guy is scum. That guy steals baseballs from 10-year-old kids and under. That is the biggest piece of shit. And then he's happy about it too. I mean, you should be handing those off to the kids, dude. If you're going to be a dick, at least be a dick with some pride and give it to a kid. Kenley, a madman. Also, Jansen positioned the infield himself. That was insane. Trouty watched sadly. James Malou says Trout also messed up tonight. Also, Jansen was a legit leader. He was. And you saw him as well as he walked off, or as the players walked off the field. He was hugging all of them. That was awesome. It felt little like the 2012 playoffs in the last inning. Let's fucking go. Rally Chris was jumping all over the place. He says, let's effing go to the game. We will lose in the past. The vibes are different this year. Playoffs, here we come. Let's break out all our honks and spritz everywhere. So he's already calling playoffs, which, again, I say no. I say,
how dare you?
Let's wait. Let's temper our emotions. You want to honk your honk, do it in private. Patrick says the biggest butt clincher in franchise history was Game 6 of the 2002 World Series. I'm not going to deny that one. Lombardi is freaking out about Jansen right now. Yeah, he's like, I wish I had Jansen on my Packers.
What the hell's going on out here?
Then you got Carlos saying, Resi, somehow, some way, they get the win. Also, James says this team is built different. Q FanDuel. Hey, let's take a ride with one of those Ford trucks or shit. Almost hit my head on the mic. Let's see. Also, let's get back. Saucy says here at the 66 opener. Listen to Terry Smith call the game. Was nice to see people on their phones checking the Halos. Hope is brewing. Also, James Malou says balls, and Kelly Jansen for president. Man, we just had the freaking election. He's got to wait a couple more years.
Time for you to check out what I want. I want
balls and John Stamos.
Kelly Jansen for president. Patrick Carrillo says trade Adele, Ward, and Renifo. No, I like Renifo, but I'm good with the first two. Rally Chris says let's talk about that last out by Jansen calling a meeting for telling where he wants his infielders to strike out better for the final out. It was great. That was great. I just brought it up earlier. I don't care what people say. Justin Option says the Angels are winning the World Series in 2002. Well, I'm sure they're going to have replays of that in September. Also, you have on here Tyler saying, oh, no, we won the opener. Does it mean a losing streak is coming? This is the first game that we've won the opener. So let's see how the next two play out. Joshua says Hendricks was good tonight as well. Demetrio says solid win. Love the scrappiness so far. And this is the best thing, guys and gals. This is the best thing. We talked about, too, the night before this, that if the Angels are to be good, or at least keep our attention, we can have some losses here and there. We can have some losses. We could be 500. We could do a lot of things. The thing is, we just want to see a competitive team, and this was competitive as hell. This I'm sure all of you were thinking the same thing I was. Damn, if this was this last year, this team would have rolled over and died. But damn it, they gave it their all tonight, including making mistakes that they were actually able to overcome. I mean, that was sick. That was really sick. Jack Lee says the errors, mistakes are nasty, but the fight is there. Last year we would have lost by 2 runs. Exactly. Chubb says ditch classes today to see my boys. Didn't disappoint me. Light that baby up, but Joyce was pretty bad tonight. Sure was. Sapphire says, to be fair, those balls were coming out weird. Something in the Florida weather. Cole checks in over on TikTok saying, I love when we're pulling out wins without the bats being hot. No team going to hit 4 home runs every night. That is true. Joshua also says the shit fucks lost tonight 8-2. Eric checking in with, hey, folks. Also, Patrick says, Artie must feel like a fat girl on prom night after eating all those nachos. Jameson Bruce, my boy, says good teams pick up their pens. It's early as hell, but 10 times out of 10, we lose games like tonight in years past. Good point, my man. Carlos also says gave away the game, but thankfully the Rays gave it back to us. Rye Guy says really thought we'd lose that game after Trout's error. Love this team's grit. Also, when does the season start? Eric says it's already started, but if you ask Roger,
We got a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight.
Yvette says 16 years today since Nick Aidenhart and Courtney Stewart, Henry Pearson died. Crazy how time flies. And I was going to touch on that later on in the show, Yvette, but since you brought it up, yeah, dude, shout out to the Aidenhart family. Shout out to the Stewart family and Pearson family. And I forgot the gentleman's name. That's he's not a paraplegic, but he's damn near in crutches still from what I know. That is truly disappointing what happened to those 3 people that losing their lives on a night that was supposed to be celebratory. And, again, shout out to Artie for being the biggest asshole. Not only putting yourself, meaning Artie, up on himself on the Jumbotron for the intro to get booed because you're that thin-skinned, but shout out to you for being a big prick. And although you're in court battles with Skaggs, it would go a long way with his family if you would have kept the remembrance of 45 up there. And why would you take down Aidenhart? Why is he not in the intro? I mean, those are just some small reasons why we hate you. Why nobody wants to be. Do you know that the Angels are leased that stadium by the city of Anaheim for $1 a year? It cost Artie $1 to lease that stadium from Anaheim, and he won't even let Anaheim city officials come in to properly evaluate the stadium's condition. Biggest prick right now in baseball, I think. I mean, some people would say that's John Fisher from Oakland. Some people would say that's the owner in Tampa. But I think Artie Moreno, with all his and he wonders why podcasts like this one don't want anything to do with him. Because we can kiss ass like other podcasts, and we can go out there and we can beg, and we can get on our knees like they do and get press passes and just be blowing smoke up your ass, the audience. We choose not to do that because he's such a prick. I'm not going to lie. If the Angels had a real owner, a nice owner, someone in the public eye that, like his backstory, his side story, his side hustles aren't getting involved with everything going on in baseball. If he's not ruining the team, you're damn right I do everything and anything to get press passes, to be a part of the organization. But the shit that he does makes me not want to do that, makes us not want to do that. So I'm sorry. I had to go on that rant. Mario says, this is the game Nevin would have gave up. We don't chase wins. I like what I'm seeing so far from this team. I forgot about that. Nevin used to say, we don't chase wins. Sim Talman says Joyce needs to stop throwing that sinker pitch. He's starting to get torched with that pitch. Rye Guy says, is that a little boy John Frisch going to join the chat tonight? I don't know. If you guys keep calling him, it's sort of like Beetlejuice. If you keep saying his name, apparently he'll show up. 3 times, I think, gets it done. I think. Also, wait, with all the bad stuff in the game, I felt legitly like, wait, we won? Yeah, this big time deserved this, man, because, again, I was not thinking we were going to win either.
We won?
Mario says, I didn't realize Jansen is that tough. I know that he'll blow a save sooner or later, but damn, bro, way to can take control and own it. He is, and he will at some point. Also, 100% would have lost that game in the last 5 years. At Todd, love the crime podcast, going through all of them in the Apple podcast. By the way, thanks for the shout out, Dimitro. We actually have had some issues with some of our, our stuff here. We haven't done an episode in a month, so I'm really behind on that. So I'm going to try to get to that in a couple weeks here, or at least this weekend. MLA says, hey, Todd, it's your turn. You got to talk Spanish, so here it is. And so I say, okay. A la pinche verde, verga, wey no mames, carbron. Did we really win? Emotional damage. Hey, did I miss having Gavin's nuts on the show? No, you didn't, but man, you guys are asking for a lot, and you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to do it. Since we won, I said I was telling the guys, you know what? Maybe I don't play that anymore because they're getting their panties in a bunch over there. So maybe I don't do it, and because I'm causing them this
emotional damage.
And they get their panties in a bunch, and I was told, hey, leave them alone. Don't start. And I'm not saying anymore. I'll just take a jab here and there.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Gavin Carlson, former credentialed journalist in the LA area. How about a yummy tasting nut?
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Okay, I promise. I'll stop. Jameson Bruce says, gonna need starting pitching to go deeper into these games. If we're worried about the pen, the rest is so much. Need guys like old slack-jaw Lackey to throw 7 to 8 innings and give the bullpen a rest. Mario says, playoffs. Also, Mateo says, Jansen was like, Cambrero is my out. Yes, he was. And I can't even say that name right, so I apologize. But I will say this, too. We do, to Jameson's point, we do need some starting pitching to get, or at least these guys to go deeper in the games. But you got what you paid for. These guys are going to give you 5, maybe 6, and that's all. You know, dogs come from getting these pitchers like your Skeens and other pitchers that we've had here, Weaver, that are homegrown and will last and are built for starting pitching. We don't have those guys yet. You can say, well, Kikuchi's a number 1. No, he's not. He's number 3. If he gives you 5 or 6, you're happy with that too. We're just going to have, if we can't nail down a starter, we've got to keep producing these guys to realize, or we got to keep producing pitchers that are going to be stones, that are going to be the 6th inning, 7th inning guy. If you remember the 0-2 game, the 0-2 season, Jared Washburn was our best pitcher. If you think about it, through the season, we had a bunch of guys who were pitching only 5-6 innings. But when they got to the 6th inning, you had to deal with Donnelly and then Shield. No, you didn't have Shields at the time. You had Brendan Donnelly. I'm forgetting the other guy that they had setting up Percival before they got Rodriguez. But point being, you only had to go to the 6th inning. Oh, yeah, Ben Weber. So you had 3 guys going to the bullpen to get to Percy. So you only had to go so far. And when you had Frankie, you only had to go to 6 or 5 innings. So it was great. We're not that blessed. Also, I know Renifo got the go-ahead hit, but Ohapi coming off the bench to get the base hit was huge. Halo Joe wants to know if we won. Right Guy says, what was the first good to punch the Rays in the gut? Let the Rays know that we ain't going to back down. That was great, though. Also, cannot stand Wayne. He gets worse every game. Also, Dan says, light that baby up. Stukas, what a stressful game. Native says, fucking shit. Jansen handled the situation like a boss. Let's fucking go. Joshua also says, Halo Joe is late like Marsha's period. Oh, nasty. Sim Talman says 7-3 start this year was not on my bingo card. Not on mine either. Also, Angels win and the Dodgers lost the series to the Nationals after visiting the White House there on a 3-game losing streak. Native says Newman and or what squid wannabe Lopez need to go when Neto comes back. And I think it's going to get to that point too, that they are going to wind up making a decision on one of these infielders for sure, dude, because I can't see them holding on to everybody. Mateo says we're going streaking.
Sorry, we're going streaking through the quad and into the gymnasium. Come on, everybody.
Come on, everybody. Also, Mateo says, I was worried about the off day. That usually hurts us, but they somehow rallied around that. Rally Chris says Angels have won 7 times already. Hugh Lombardi. Yeah, Lombardi's been pretty besides himself because he can't believe all the winning. What the hell's going on out here? Exactly. Angels have been doing a lot of that.
Wow, winning.
Yes. Also, we got Mario here saying, I vote Paris for player of the month in April so far. You can't deny that. Let's see. Also, I think you get rid of Newman I think you keep Newman, but get rid of Lopez. Also, Renifo is a liability at third. Thank you for the super sticker, Mateo and Saucy. I really appreciate that. He says, thanks for all the free content, bro. Makes nights like this so much better. I appreciate each and every last one of you guys, no matter what. So thank you. Also, Yvette says Newman needs to tag the runner, not the dirt. Yeah, that was another play that could have went crappy for them. It's whiskey time. Woohoo! Jesus says, Halo Joe checks in with Dodgers 0-3 since the Trump visit. Go MAGA. Also, honk right there. Mario's spritzing right now. He couldn't hold it in, so he just honked his honk. Rye Guy says, what a way to pitch the Rays punch the Rays in the gut. Oh, we already read that one. Also, LB says the season starts tonight, baby. We're going to get some winning going.
We got a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight.
Also, Locked On Angels podcast, only 15 minutes tonight. For a game like this, Wahidi will always be on top. I really appreciate that. And that's what we do here. I mean, this is the time for everyone to get on the comments. I know the phones aren't there, and I appreciate that, Hayes. But, yeah, that's what it comes down to, man. You want to be able to get with the fans, talk with the fans, interact with the fans. Once I give my spiel, which was longer than usual tonight because of the game and how intense it was, you guys and gals direct me where to go after that by the comments. So there you go. See, how the hell did we win this game? Gerard wants to know. Do we win it on guts and moxie and the never give up, never surrendered like attitude? So I'm sorry I'm being cheesy, but that was great. It was great baseball. If you did not get to see the whole game, I know FanDuel does the replay later on tonight or even tomorrow morning. Hit the record, save it on your DVR if you still do that, and bam, there you go. Or just watch the highlights on freaking on YouTube. But Mike Trout says, we're so back, baby. Rally Chris says, Nacho Night Ward goes to my neighbors. What the hell is Todd doing bringing a huge truck on my street? Oh, that's right. I dropped off a jersey to my boy Rally Chris today. One game at a time, Cabrones, LB says. Also, Botched Investigation says, sometimes this regime is just having balls, and more balls. And by the way, if you guys have a chance, let your friends know about the show. If you really like it, it's a good way to help us out, even as much as donating to the cause. That is letting them know about this page, letting them know about the hosts, let them know about this show, because it does go a long way. And hit the like button or the heart button, whatever you're watching.
Time for you to check out what I want. I want
balls and John Stamos.
Kelly Jansen. Also, at Dan, it's already taught. Oh, geez. Steve Lee says, Ward gets the nachos tonight. She was not impressed by that guy. Mike Moore says, what the fuck are we doing with Joyce? If we're preparing him to be the future closer, why is he in the seventh? And that's exactly great point. Great point. There's no reason to take him out of a position you gave him. Rye Guy says, Jansen was like, you nerds ain't going to cost me my 450 save. That was awesome. Great point, Rye Guy. I love the ejection tonight. Cash didn't even try to defend him, LOL. And you know what? That was awesome, too, because since all the rule changes, how many ejections have you seen, really? And that was awesome, dude. He didn't like the 3-1 pitch, and he sure as hell didn't like striking out on the pitch because he thought and knew he should have been at first base. And slamming the bat down after the umpire already warned him, he's like, you know what? Fuck you. And he walked, and that was great. He should have flipped him off. But he practically did. It was awesome. Angels are in first place in the Halo. Calm down, Hayes. Jesus says, time to stream and get a look at Neto playing with the Bees. Already 2 for 2 with a home run. Woohoo! Wait till that boy comes back. This lineup is going to get going. That is very cute, Waldo, Steve Elise. Also, Mateo says, why would you throw out an inexperienced pitcher in a game you're so close in? Boy, you're quoting me right there from a couple of years ago. Rally Chris says, stop the count. The Dodgers are in third place. Padres winning the West. Stop it! Also on XG checks in with, we're back department. We're so back department. I'd like to file a claim. Tamir20 says, Jansen was a conductor tonight. Jesus says, no phones need because we have balls, and Jansen's big balls for the save. Is it the phones, people? Is it the no phone policy?
Time for you to check out what I want. I want
balls and John Stamos.
No cell phones. Mario says Ron Washington sounding like he has dementia like Joe Biden with his decisions in the bullpen. How does this to bank? Wash needed to leave Hendricks in one more inning. He overmanaged and nearly effed up. Hoppy saved his ass. Man, I'm telling you, they had some really, really good, pitching in that last couple innings, man, between Brock and freaking Jansen, dude. Richard Brooks says, Kenley Jansen said, forget about our analytics. Yeah, fuck him. The mound visit is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. He's calling for the fantasy. You know what? I have to do it. I didn't say it. He said it. So blame Mateo for that.
Hey, Todd, what are you looking at?
I'm looking at the Underdog app sponsored by Halos in the Infield. Actually, you can punch in HITI and get the promo code 20% earnings on your first bet via Underdog, the app. And also, they match 50% up to $1,000 winnings if you place bets. You can put them on players. You can put it on teams. It's a nightly thing. It's so easy to play, but also gamble responsibly. All because of Halos in the Infield and Underdog, the app.
Where's Mike Trout? You got a lot of explaining to do about that error. Also, Dan Rio says, and what Kenley had to do, he basically had to get 4 outs with a tying runner right there and the winning runner at second, which he said, I don't care about. He just went after him. If this game was managed by Numbnuts Nevin, we would have lost. Well, that's a no-brainer right there. Whatever happens, Artie did not let number 6 come back, keep the momentum going. And this is the problem, Mario. We've been told by Ron Washington, when we get to Houston, I think Rendon's going to come down to the stadium and visit the guys. No! Keep him away. We don't want to see him anywhere near that stadium that looks like a grill from the outside. No. It's Spritz o'clock. Q already playing the sax. Oh, we already played that earlier. Mateo said you probably don't want to pick a fight with Kenley Jansen. Absolutely not. Time for Strokey Artie. Also, this team is fun to watch, and they're off to a good start, but this team is not good. Don't be fooled, Jonah says. And we're not. Like I said, Jonah, and I'll say this again. I am going to implore all of you, because I'm not saying it's the right thing to do, but it's something that I'm doing. Let's go 1-0 like Pete Carroll says, and we did. We went 1-0 today, got that victory. Let's just focus on today's start. Once the game's over, we talked about it. We got it out. I mean, because we're going to be maturating on this one at least for a day or two, right? But after we, tomorrow the starting pitcher throws that first pitch for Tampa, we're locked into that game. That's how we should be, man. I'm not like Rally Chris is like, hey, we're first place. No, I don't care about that. The standings don't count whatsoever. I mean, we got 152 more games. So I'm just trying to see how this team plays on a nightly basis. As long as we're competitive, as long as we got that fight, that's an improvement. That's an upgrade. I like what I see. It's fun so far. We're seeing a barrage, with the exception of a couple guys not doing jack squat. We're seeing production from most guys. Like we've already seen 10 games into the season, 4 times so far, 4 times. The Angels have 1 through 9 through their lineup. At least somebody get on base at one point. At least one time in the night, somebody touched the plate and was safe. Via walk, via hit, whatever. They got on base, and that's what you want. And if the pitching can continue to just do this kind of stuff, it could be fun on a nightly basis. So let's just go 1-0. No air ride. The win misplayed if that. Also, David Roska says Angels won 7-3. Let's go. Mateo says don't shit on my Zach Hampel guy. Rally Chris says you mean Jim Willett. Also, Eric Ward says another gritty win. No way we would have won this game last year. This team is showing real chemistry, and Ron Washington's swag is contagious. We're only 10 games in, but I'm starting to smell the hope. JT says, why are all the black players hitting in the back of the lineup? JT, you are starting some crap. The Sapphire says, what do you think of Moncada, Todd? Do you think he will impact this team as much as it is, or you think this lineup is better without him? Sapphire, I actually think it's way better without him. I really do. I don't think that he's the type of dude that's going to last all season. That's just me. I think Neto's play, along with the, if Renifo stays healthy, there's really no room for him. Kyron Paris, too. As he stays healthy, Adele gets his back going, Ward does something right. Where in the hell are you going to play Moncada other than off the bench? And that's probably the best that he's going to do. Tim Salmon really says, I like the new mayor of Anaheim wants to be the Anaheim Angels. I think she should make it an ultimatum to have him continue to play here. If not, get the fuck out. Artie's pissed right there. People are saying hi to him. Also, JT says, I think it should be Renifo, Parrish, Trout, Ohapi, Soler. I like that 5. I really do. Silent E says, Wash isn't using Detmers right. I understand the position he put himself in, but still, instead of a mop-up duty, Detmers should be long relief with his starter experience. Give him a chance to prove himself. Exactly. What usually happens, guys and girls, when you have a guy like Suarez, and that's the example I have, unfortunately, because the Angels held on to him way too long. He was their designated, long guy. And every time he would pitch himself anywhere decent and we had an injury in the rotation, or say, for instance, a guy was really struggling, guess who got picked up to then replace that pitcher? Suarez. And we all were like, oh, shit. But see, I think all of us feel good right now if Detmers, like Silent E says, is giving you like 3 innings a night, and he's putting up zeros or maybe just allowing a run. And we have one of these rotation guys just really hit the skids or unfortunately get hurt. Detmers should just fall right into that spot. And that's how you get his confidence up. It's a win-win, but we don't think that way. Ben Weber, I remember him. Also, Juan says, you know what we didn't hear tonight at all? We didn't hear any of this, and I am severely pissed off. There's no Dale tonight. Eric Ward says, moist. Salmon says, Ben Weber was a fucking dog, bro. He was. PJ says, when is Percy going to coach for the Angels? I don't know. It's sort of like one of those things where when is Artie going to allow some of these alumni who don't want to show up, who he has to pay, which he had to pay most of those 2002 guys, to be a part of it. I'm telling you, man, I would love for Percy to be a part of this organization. His son is, at least. Artie's happy to see Eric. He's also chanting moist. Robert says, I will lose my shit if Moncada comes back and plays. Also, Tim Salmon says, what the fuck are the Giants jerseys tonight? I don't know. They're pretty weird. I'm surprised we're playing this well in April, but because historically we are slow starters. Also, MLA says, no mames is the second winning streak so far, or is this the second winning streak? It kind of is, dude. We're on our third game, 3-game winning streak. I can't even say it right because we're not used to it.
All right, you guys, let's listen up. We won a game yesterday. If we win one today, that's 2 in a row. We win one tomorrow, that's called a winning streak.
Already did it. Robert says we won this game because we survived and thrived in 25. I survived. The Angels had a rough year last year, guys and gals. Now say it with me, chant it with me. Say it from the side of your car. Say, first off, say, I'm a Halo honk for life. And say your name, and then say, survived and thrived in 25. Dan Rios says, and me love you long time. And that only references one thing.
There's a lot of baseball left to be played. And the season starts tonight, which makes me so horny. And me love you long time.
Also, Rye Guy says, I've never locked on anals. Also, who wants an ass hat? James fixed the line. Matty Matt says, I smell postseason. Come on, Matty Matt. Stop jinxing us. Joshua says, are you going to the game next Friday? Of course I am. I'm going to be there. I'm a real fan. Just like most of us here on this podcast go to games. Everyone from James to James Malou to Robert to me to Fernando, like everybody. Dominique, when he's not doing games right now, he's over there, I think North Carolina or somewhere back east. We all go to games, dude. We don't profess to be Angel fans and not actually go. Despite our hatred for Artie, we go, we have fun because we don't focus on Big A. We focus on the players on the field. But I will be there, and we also are going to be focused at our tailgate. Hello, on the 19th on Saturday. You guys got to come out and see us at Bruheim. It's going to be freaking fun. Mateo says, people that are new to the show, people hated me a lot last year. Yeah, you did poke the bear a lot. Also, what's the heads up by Renifo to throw the I didn't even bring that up either, Mateo. He threw out 2 base runners at home. That was awesome. Perfect defensive placement, too. Gerard says, is Joyce velo being down because of the concern or just an off night? Well, we have to see, Gerard. His velo was way down to about 98, I think was his high. So, and the fastball had no movement. I don't know if it was nervousness. I don't know what it was, if he was sick. All I know is that he was not the Ben Joyce we're used to watching. That's a bit concerning. We'll have to see what Ron Washington says either tonight or tomorrow. I would think that because they're so girlish about, and that's no offense to girls, but the analytics part of it, those geeks will say, no, he needs to sit tomorrow. So I think Jansen will tell him that he wants to pitch. So if we get into another situation tomorrow, I guarantee you Jansen will be ready. Joyce will not. Rendon is like Squid. He's worse than Squid, and I never thought I'd say that. Excellent win, Angels fan tonight. Ocean View Coffee Shop says. Also, Silene says Paris at short, Renifo at third, DFA Mancada. Dude, Paris has been a breath, and I mean a breath of fresh air. He has been awesome to watch. To the hardcore Angel fans that stuck it out through August and September, watching Kyron Paris just be bad in the box, and then he would get so down on himself, he would make errors as well. Like a lot of people were like, man, the dude can't even play defense. A lot of Angel fans were down on him last year. And we weren't ready to close the book, but a lot of us were like, yeah, he should start in the minors next year for sure. And again, when you really want something, when you really have something to prove, when you have a chip on your shoulder, he used all 3 of those as motivation, and he made himself into the guy he is right now. Now, he's not going to bat 400 the rest of the year. No. When pitchers start to get the book on him, he'll start to come down to earth a little bit. But the thing is, that's where he's going to need to adjust again. So when they start to figure him out, he's got to readjust and reinvent himself. That's what the game is all about. Because anyone can have a great week or two. Anyone can have a good month or two. But once there's a book on you, they start to figure you out. They've done it to every player. The great ones can continue to reinvent themselves, continue to change and evolve. Once you stop evolving as a player, the game passes you by. And we've seen it with so many players. So I'm hoping that he can enjoy this high of highs, but can also, when things start to get a little low, dig with deep in himself, get himself going, keep working, keep putting in the effort like he's been, and get to that next level, get to that next high, stay ahead of the pitchers. I love his moxie. He is a great player. He's a spark plug. Man, I'm impressed with him. I am so impressed 10 games in only. And it takes a lot to impress me. I'm usually glass half full all the time, but Kyron Paris is some kind of dude, man. He kind of reminds me about Neto too. When Neto came up, I was like, okay, he's a little bit flashy. He's a little bit cocky to be, telling guys what to do out there. But man, he's a gamer. And I believe we have gamer number 2 and gamer number 3 in the wings, meaning Moore. When Moore comes up here, he's got that moxie. If he can lock in and get off to, and play up here, I mean, that infield is solid, dude. And with Shonawell and Ohapi being the dog that he is a catcher, I'm telling you, man, the youth movement, I like it. I like it a lot. Eric Ward says, I wonder if Artie is partying with Marcia tonight and letting her ride the A train. We'll have to check in with him. It's getting close to that time. Kenley Jansen seems like a guy that would have a meeting on the mound if the team was struggling, or a closed-door meeting. Also, Mata, make the Angels Disney again. I love that, Tim. Also, I smell nacho helmets. Yeah, there's some in the background. Also, let's sweep these. Man, will you stop it, Rally Chris? Stop! Speaking of Disney, we're 1-0 since a custom Disney Angels jersey came. Oh, God. Sapphire says, Cole Falantante, first player to do a cycle in Trash Panda history. Just happened a few hours ago. That's awesome, dude. Let's see. Also, bring back Drury Lane. No. Also, Steve Lee says, people is me. I said he sucks every game he played last season. I don't know who you're referring to. If that was oh yeah, I think that was with her talking about our boy Kyron because she was not the biggest Kyron fan last year. Mateo says Roger is like, oh, Hoppy. Oh, my God. My Hoppy. I love Hoppy. Oh. And then they have to clean up on aisle 3. Balls, and cojones. Robert also says, everyone hit that like button. If we get to 100 likes 2 games in a row, we will light that tailgate tab up for some fun. Yes, we do have an active tab already on that game on the 19th. So if you come out, beers will be on Rob, but Rob is trying to push it even further. Mateo says Wayne and Gooby are still saying that Trout is getting used to the Angels right field. He is. Also, Paris needs to remember what great Yogi Berra said. When you come to a fork in the road, take it. Baseball is a game of failure, and if it takes adversity head on, or if you take adversity head on, he'll be great. Leah Alves says, nice Halo victory, Todd. Hell yeah, it was a great victory here tonight. Also, it's confirmed the Angels are winning. Thanks again to Big 20 for scoring. Yeah, dude, I did not think that was possible, but maybe that's the thing that broke the curse. You know, who knows? I put the bat signal out to Artie, so let's see if he makes an appearance. Mateo says, is the clown making an appearance this year? Yes. Look for the clown. Look for the clown. I think I'm going to put my makeup on after the tailgate, because the tailgate will be on the 19th from 2 to 5:30 at Bruheim in Anaheim. If you haven't seen the advertisement, we'll replay it again. It's going to be a fun time of all kinds of games between Jenga, between freaking we're going to have cornhole, so a tournament on that to win prizes, and then we're going to have shirts that you could buy, we may give away. There's going to be all kinds of fun right there. Plus, drinks, a $200 limit when we first start of drinks. So as long as it's not filled, you can get a drink on us right away. And then you have, we have some food there. We're going to be, just talking shit and just having a good time. So have a beer with us, chill with us, have a good time. It's going to be really fun. Then we'll walk over to the stadium. You can park there, and then we can have, a good time over there at the stadium. And then I'm going to be in clown makeup, walking around, taking interviews, talking to fans. It should be all in all a good time. So either it's going to be Terry Smith or the great Arturo Moreno. We're waiting on that right now. But as far as the game went tonight, I mean, there's so many things to take out of this as far as how they played and how they came up big in a big situation tonight. It was huge because, again, you had – what is it? Let me get to the stats real quick here. You had – the Angels only had 4 runs and 6 hits and 1 huge error. And, you had Trout misplaying the ball. You had those runners being left right there. I mean, it looked like this game was going to be in the shitter, and the Angels could have gave this game away 6 different times. They chose not to. So, I mean, it was great. It was great to see the Angels win. Tim Salmon also says, how much shit could shit fuck shit if a fuck could fuck shit? Who's the shit fucks again? That's the Ohio team. That's who they are. Mateo says Rendon is going to bring bad juju in the clubhouse. That is a problem right there. James Gonzalez, the Mr. Around the League show, and also the host of The Chair. He's ready to go. He comes on here and says, I've taken too many forks. Matty Ice checks in with, please have fake Terry Smith call in. Love that guy. Also, you have Mike Malone got fired was a joke. Baldwin says cornhole doesn't sound like an equal fun time. It depends on what you're playing for, sir. Also, James Gonzalez says Todd with life lessons earlier. Exactly. Todd, hopefully Anaheim Stadium security doesn't screw with you when you try to give out thunder sticks. I don't know if I'm going to do all that stuff, because if I try to do all that stuff, I may not get in. And that's the thing. Last time, it's sort of like some other podcast says, we don't watch your show, but then they watch our show, right? Well, same thing happened this time. Like, I was opening my mouth last year. I was really cocky. And, boy, it didn't sound right. Taken out of context, that could be a soundbite. Anyway, I was just like, hey, I'm going to go to Anaheim Stadium. I'm going to pass out, thunder sticks, and we're going to do this and do that and have paper bags. Man, they were ready for me, man. They watched the show, and they full on kicked me out of that game. I wasn't even allowed to go in. I was like, what if I take off my makeup? And they were like, nope, you've been banned tonight. I'm like, Man, F you guys. So I walked over to Noble and just drank my sorrows away and watched the rest of the game. While everyone else in our party went in, I was kicked out. We have a sort of a phone call.
Oh,
wait,
is anybody there?
Hold on. Before you say something, James Gonzalez, host of the Chair and Around the League show, said, "Count me in for another $100." So now that makes $300 of free beer, Artie. And no, you cannot partake, but $300 for Bruheim.
What I need free beer for? Well, I'm a freaking billionaire. Oh.
Hey, sir.
I'm thinking of starting my own brewery up, Todd.
Listen, I have to tell you, Artie, I really, really want to, this is the first time I've been able to talk to you, and the Angels have a winning record.
Yeah, they won?
Yeah, we won.
Woo! Wait, tell you, Todd. I told you the whole time. Angels are going to win the World Series. Have high five your beehive on 2025 or something like that.
Close enough. But Eric Ward says, "How was Marcia? Was she moist?"
Oh, I haven't had a crack at that yet.
By the way, Artie, thoughts on not being in your own introduction at the stadium? And also, real quick, you have a former baseball player. He just checked in after another loss. We have Matt Theis on the line. Would you like to talk to Theis?
Oh, Matt Theis. I remember that guy.
Here he is.
Nevin, can I still play? I want to play with the Angels.
Who the hell's this?
That was the worst invitation I've ever heard.
What? Who am I talking to? Oh man, that wasn't my good buddy Matt Theis. I know his voice anywhere. That was an imposter. How dare you? Who is that?
By the way, real quick, Rye Guy says, "Stop being cheap and fix Terry's grill."
Oh, hey. I offered a dental plan to that guy, and he refused it. I'm going to bend over backwards for his choppers.
By the way, when you get a chance, because I talked to Terry the other day, he's not looking that great, and you keeping him in the van. You guys always say when you start the radio telecast, we're broadcasting remotely from Angel Stadium. You're not broadcasting remotely from Angel Stadium. You're broadcasting from that rape van. That's not a good look, Artie.
Rape van? I haven't done anything in that van since 2006. Oh. Yeah, I don't want him to get a lot of sun because he had jaundice about 4 years ago. I don't want to make it worse.
How does an
Or
old
something
man
like
get jaundice?
He's getting too much vitamin D, Todd. Way too much. It was getting to his head. Oh.
By the way, Artie, you don't sound too good right now. So while you're still somewhat coherent, Baldwin says free Terry, and Joshua says, "Hey, Artie, thoughts on the mayor's letter?"
Oh, yeah. I have a couple of things to say to that whore. She wants to throw her weight around with all her women's lib jargon.
Have some respect, Artie. Come on.
Oh, no. Telling me what to do. Well, my business. I'll tell you where to go, honey. I'll tell you exactly where to go. Woo! Sapphire! What do you think of this mayor girl? I'll tell you what, she's a lot better looking than the other mayor. She's not bad looking. Well, I tell you, Todd, she can't tell me to name my... That's ridiculous. To name my team Anaheim. That makes no sense.
Why? They play in Anaheim, dude.
Oh, crap. I forgot we still play Anaheim.
Yes, we're in
I
Anaheim.
thought we moved already. Oh, I gotta get my emails squared away.
See, if you had the stadium north of where I live, that would be considered LA, but you're down south, so we're like on the very tip of LA.
Well, maybe we should move north. What do you think, Todd?
No.
I think a nice place like Bell Gardens would be a good spot. Or maybe Downey.
Maybe Cudahy.
Cudahy. I hear Cudahy is beautiful this time of year.
Instead of Huntington Park or Huntington Beach, Huntington Park.
Or Hawaiian Gardens. Hey, it's in the name, Todd. It sounds good. Maybe I'll do that.
The Hawaiian
I don't
Gardens
think, huh?
The Hawaiian Gardens Angels?
There you go, Todd. Now you're thinking like a marketing person. Oh, I'm so proud of my buddy Todd. Oh boy, I think I may hire you on the marketing team, Todd. What do you say? I'm not going to pay you, but I'm going to hire the hell out of you.
What about Bellflower? Salmon wants to know.
PL's Dodge 56 Freeway. Something Bellflower. I remember that song, that jingle.
I'll tell you what, Artie. I appreciate you being on. I think we shouldn't go too long with this, but I will tell you this, Artie. Before you throw up again, let Terry know we want him on. I know he's at the van over there. I don't know if you're in Arizona. Are you local tonight?
I'm in good old Arizona of California. Hanging out with the old battle axe. She was all mad at me today because I didn't give her any. Hey, I'm not easy. That's what I told her.
Look, Emilio wants to know, hey, Artie, do you use Alex Curry's knockers as flotation devices?
Oh, hey. Have some respect for those fun bags.
Hey, but those teeth are no joke, though.
Oh, no, those teeth I like to look at. Less teeth, I would tell her, but she didn't listen.
I don't know, something about her. I just want to feed her a carrot. But let's move on real quick.
So do I. I can watch that woman eat for hours, Todd. Yeah, have a huffy dog.
Also, last question here. Eric says, do you like Erica's one eye?
Yes. Are you talking about the brown eye?
Okay, Artie, we've already lost so many sponsors in the meantime.
Oh, all right. I'm sorry, Todd. I'm trying to help build your audience.
Oh, you sure are. That's for sure. All right, Artie, have a good night, man.
All right, whatever.
You suck. I had to tell him that. The whole 45 thing, and I didn't want to get too mean with him, but Baldwin says, oh, no, not that eye. We're talking about the other eye, the eye that has a mind of its own, or his own. What an interesting show tonight, huh? A lot of good to talk about tonight as the Angels win 4-3. Canley, what more can you say about Canley Jansen, who gets the player of the game, the John Stamos Award for the best player on the field? Honorable mentions was Brock Burke. Honorable mention also is Kyron Paris for his home runs. Renifo making solid defensive plays. So it was all in all a really good night tonight. And then lost in all that was a good pitching performance by Kyle Hendricks. Although he threw 83 pitches, 5 innings pitched, though, gave you a solid outing. Didn't give you that, what is it called, the quality start. But he gave you enough to win. So there you go. Alex says Gavin loves him as a yummy, tasty nut. Well, with that being said, let me play you guys out with some commercials, and then we will catch you right back here tomorrow after the hopefully an Angels win. As we're 7-3 right now, we're looking to tomorrow's starting matchup real quick before we get out of here. As I know, I always say that before we get out of here, and I wind up doing like 2 or 3 other things. But tomorrow's start is another 4:05 start here locally. Kikuchi goes for his first Angels win in 2 appearances. He's 0-1 with a 4.50 ERA, 12 innings pitched. He's pitched 2 quality starts so far. He's allowed 3 home runs and 5 walks, 9 hits, and gotten 11 strikeouts. He's facing Pepeo. Pepeo is 0-1 with a 2.45 ERA, 11 innings pitched, 11 hits, though, allowed so far in those 11 innings. He's allowed 4 walks and 1 home run. So Pepeo versus Kikuchi tomorrow. Tickets going as low as $15 if you're out there honking your horn. But Angels, baby, let's get it tomorrow. And we'll see you tomorrow right after the show or after the game. It will be the show like always. So for Todd Fox and everybody over here, hit that like button, subscribe, tell a friend, and get your ass at the tailgate on the 19th. Good night, everybody.
Brought to you by 714 Tickets in Anaheim, your trusted source for Angels tickets at unbeatable prices with no hidden fees. Whether it's home or away, they've got your seat covered. Visit them at 2424 East Catella Avenue, Anaheim, or online at 714tickets.com. Mention HITI and get 10% off your purchase. And Brewheim, Anaheim's premier craft brewery, pouring fresh, locally brewed beers in a welcoming atmosphere for Angels fans and beer lovers alike. Stop by their tap room at 1931 East Wright Circle, Anaheim, or check them out at brewheim.com. Mention HITI and get 10% off your tab. The OC Dugout, your one-stop shop for officially licensed Angels memorabilia, custom jersey framing, and exclusive autograph signings with your favorite players. Visit them at 1928 East Center Street, Anaheim, or online at theocdugout.com. Support the businesses that support Halos in the infield.